What's going on, you guys? It's Cody. Welcome back to the channel. Today we're talking about 3 stocks that I'm going to be buying this week and 3 stocks that you might want to consider buying as well. I don't know about you guys, but I'm excited for the market to open back up because I'm ready to get back into buying and selling stocks and making some profits and some money. Today is Monday and the market is closed because of a holiday. So it's been a 3-day weekend and I'm itching to get the markets back open so we can actually make some purchases and some trades. So with that, I want to cover 3 stocks today. The first 2 are going to be very small market caps under $1 billion, and the third one is going to be a little bit bigger. It's a new SPAC that is coming to the market that I think is going to be a very good long-term company that you're going to want to hold on to after investing into it. I see a bright future for this third one, so make sure to watch all the way till the end. Without further ado, let's just jump right into number 1. First up on our list is CuriosityStream. This is a stock that I've been talking about for a couple of months now. You'll see some other videos here on my channel talking about the stock and how I think it could easily go up 2, 3, even 4x here in just the next little bit. In this year, I would not be surprised to see this stock go up 4x by the end of the year. This is a company that has a lot of long-term growth and has a very bright outlook. This is a non-fiction streaming service, so think of Netflix, but they only focus on the non-fiction stuff, so think of documentaries. There's a very large market for this because I don't know about you guys, but when I'm watching TV, I kind of like to watch something a little bit educational or entertaining, right? I get kind of tired of just the reality shows and the drama shows and whatever. I like to watch something that's a little bit educational so I can actually learn something cool about the world and how everything fits together here on Earth. So that's one of the things I really love about CuriosityStream. I do have this service. I've watched a couple of the shows and they're pretty awesome actually. The cool thing about what CuriosityStream is doing is they're narrowing in on this niche and they're going to be the biggest producer of these types of videos or these types of movies or documentaries. So I think right now they're sitting about roughly 3,000 titles. They're aiming to get that to over 11,000 titles over the next couple of years. The cool thing about this as well is that these documentary type shows are much cheaper to produce, and so they don't need the massive capital requirements such as Netflix or Hulu to produce these other original shows. Those shows that they put out on Netflix and Hulu are extremely expensive to create, whereas these documentaries are much cheaper. Basically, you got to pay a couple photographers, tell them out to go do something, hire a narrator, and you're kind of good. So it's much cheaper to produce and they have much better margins on this service. Talking about some of the market numbers, currently they have roughly 13 million subscribers. Compare this to Netflix, which has over 180 million subscribers as of April 21st, 2020. I'm sure that number is much higher today, but CuriosityStream is sitting at roughly 13 million subscribers. I do think this number could be higher. I haven't seen the updated numbers just yet, and we haven't seen the earnings for 2020 either. However, I would look at this and say, okay, CuriosityStream has less than 1/10 of the subscribers of Netflix. Again, I don't know about you guys, but when I subscribe to Netflix, I'm subscribed to everything out there. I have Hulu, I have Amazon Prime, I have Disney Plus, I've got everything out there, and I've got CuriosityStream as well. So it's so cheap. I think it's $20 for an entire year subscription. It's really one of those services that you should just like sign up for, because even if you only watch it once a month, once a quarter, whatever, you're still getting your money's worth. Honestly, it's one of those services where you could kind of enroll in it, and even if you don't use it, I mean, you're only out $20. So it's extremely cheap to enroll in. So it's extremely cheap to become a subscriber for, and they've got a lot of really great content on there. Currently, Netflix is sitting at a $246 billion market cap. Now, obviously, Netflix is the giant in the room. They have the most control, they have the best brand loyalty, and they know exactly what they're doing. They built up the reputation behind them as the go-to streaming service. However, I do think that, like I said, when people have multiple services, I don't think there's any reason they wouldn't enroll in CuriosityStream other than just the fact that they don't really know that it's out there. So CuriosityStream is sitting at less than $1 billion market cap. I think they're at roughly like 900 million on the market cap. So they have a lot of room to grow. I mean, think about this. Even if they were to 10x, they'd still only be at 10 billion compared to Netflix at 246 billion. I'm not saying they're going to be as big as Netflix, but I do think they have a big opportunity to grow and become a bigger company overall. In Q3 2020, CuriosityStream had a revenue of 8.7 million, which was up 82% year over year. Their gross margin also increased from 59 to 61%. Like I said, we haven't seen 2020's year-end numbers, so I'm really excited to see those come out. I think this could be the catalyst to put this company on the map, get Wall Street further invested, and push this share price up significantly. The cool thing about this too, as more people find out about the stock, they're going to find out about the service, they're going to enroll in the service, they're going to talk about it to their friends and family. The more people are going to enroll, then they're going to look at the stock, and it's just a big feedback loop pushing the share price up for all of us shareholders. 2 last things I want to talk about here on this stock before moving on to the others. Analysts are expecting them to almost double their revenue in 2021, going from roughly 39 million in 2020 to over 72 million in 2021. I would not be surprised to see this hit 80 million plus as more and more people find out about this service. I don't know about you guys, but I didn't even know about this company until just a couple of months ago, until when I stumbled across it. And I think that was actually here on YouTube. I looked into it and said, wow, this is actually a really cool service. I really like this. For me, looking into this, it wasn't the fact that I didn't want this service. It wasn't something that I knew about and just didn't want to buy. It was something that I didn't even know was out there. And so I think that more people, as they find out about this service, they're going to enroll in this and they're going to spend time watching it, which is going to then further increase the revenue for the company. The last thing I've got to mention here is that roughly 52% of subscribers are outside of the United States. I think this is really big because when you look at the populations of the world, the population in the United States is roughly 330 million compared to the world at over 7 billion people. So if already 50% of their subscribers are outside of the United States, this gives them a massive opportunity to continue growing in the United States as well as outside where the populations are much bigger. Oh, and one last thing I do have to mention because it just popped in my head, John Hendricks is actually the founder of this company. He also founded Discovery Channel. If he knows how to found and run and build a successful channel such as a Discovery Channel, there's probably a thing or two he knows about advising this company to also become successful. All right, guys. I know I rambled on the last one. That's just because I see a very bright future for CuriosityStream. I think they're going to do very well, and I think that their stock price is going to go up very quickly as they continue to get more exposure. Jumping into the next one I want to talk about here today is Shift Technologies. This is going to be an online used car dealership that competes with the likes of Vroom and Carvana. A lot of people have heard about Carvana, but almost nobody's heard about Shift, partially because they're just a small little guy and partially because they're not in every single market, or at least most of the markets here across the United States like Carvana is. Carvana is currently sitting at over a $50 billion market cap, whereas Shift Technologies is still under $1 billion. I absolutely love this model, and I think they're going to see a lot of success once Wall Street actually puts some exposure on them and actually notices them. I think as more analysts continue to pick up this stock, I think they're going to see some big growth because Shift is starting to break into these markets. I think this is a great model for a few different reasons. Everybody hates going to the used car dealership. I mean, it's just like the worst experience. It's slimy. It's a bad experience. You never know if you're getting a good car or not. You never know what you're going to see until you get into it. I mean, it's a terrible experience for most people, and everybody hates that, right? So they've moved this online where they've basically taken out the used car salesman and just give you all of the facts and information. They take pictures of the car. They do 3D tours. They basically give you a full overview of the car, say, here's what the car is, here's the price. They'll come and bring it to you for a test drive, and you buy it or you don't. You know, you can kind of process the paperwork there online if you decide to purchase it, and it's just a very clean, smooth process. There's no need for negotiating. There's no need for back and forth or being in that uncomfortable situation. You basically just say, hey, I'm interested in this car. If it works, you can buy it right there on the spot. Another reason I love this is because with this service, they can actually hold their cars in an offsite location further away where they don't have to pay for that expensive real estate that you're going to pay for on Main Street or State Street there in your area where most used car dealerships are at. This is very prime real estate. And so with Shift Technologies or Carvana or any of these other companies, they can basically buy a parking lot or warehouse somewhere out in the middle of nowhere where real estate is much cheaper and actually store their cars there in between time, which is going to save them money there as well. The margins that we're seeing on this from other companies like Carvana and Vroom are actually pretty good. Shift doesn't quite have the exposure and the numbers to really back up what they're doing, but I think they're growing and they're going to be reporting numbers soon. And so that's really exciting information. I'm really looking forward to what they come out with because I think there's a lot of potential for this company. They don't need to be number one. They don't need to beat Carvana. They don't need to be bigger than them or anything like that. They basically just need to get to the point where they are a player in the market, right? They don't need to be the Netflix. They just need to be the Hulu or the CuriosityStream, and they can see massive future growth. I think this is a company where I'm actually going to buy some options because I think there's a really good chance that they're going to see a massive price jump in their share price this year. I think that they're going to get some exposure from their numbers when they report them, and I think they're going to get some exposure with more people coming into the stock, and I would not be surprised to see this 2, 3, or 4x very quickly over the next, 6 to 9, maybe 12 months of this year. I think this will help me maximize my returns because I do feel really pretty good about this. And I think that even if I have to buy the shares or, roll over the contracts, I'd be happy to do that with my options. Right now, their share price is sitting at roughly $10. They did increase a little bit, but they were sitting lower than that. They were sitting in the $8 range for quite a while. I would not be surprised to see them drop back down a little bit. If they do, again, I'm going to go in a little bit heavier. I do think this is at least a $20 to $30 stock in this year. All right, next up, let's talk about the third one. This is one that I'm really excited about because it's a service that I use use personally, and they're the absolute dominator in this market space. The one that we're talking about here today is going to be the Matterport merger with Gores Holding 6. This is GHVI is the ticker, and this is a SPAC play that was just announced last week. I already bought some shares, I bought some warrants, and I'm really looking forward to holding on to this company for the long term. I think this is going to be a company that grows very quickly and grows for a very long time. If you don't know, Matterport is the company that creates and hosts those 3D scans that you see of real estate properties. Now, this is basically where they can take a 3D camera and they're going to use radar systems to basically scan a room. So they also sell a camera, but you can use other cameras for this process as well. But once you have that 3D scan, you need somewhere to host it. So the cool thing about Matterport is they sell their camera, but then they also sell the service of hosting those 3D scans for people to actually go and look at. This is really powerful, and I actually use this in my own business, in my real estate business, for selling properties, of course, but also as a rental on the rental side, where I can actually go and scan my rental property, and then I don't have to show tenants the place. I basically just send them a walkthrough video and send them this 3D tour and say, look, I'm not going to show you the place in person because I've had so many people waste my time. And so I get them this information, and I don't have to worry about people not showing up, or people saying, oh, I didn't know what it looked like, or I didn't know this room was this big, or whatever. I mean, you can go into this Matterport scan, walk around the entire area, you can measure different distances, you can see what everything looks like, and it's basically just a game changer. Matterport charges monthly fees in order to host this service online, and I think the space is only going to continue to grow. With everything going on, this service has been extremely popular in the real estate world over the past year, and even before that, and it's only going to continue to get bigger. I see a very large opportunity for this type of service going beyond just residential real estate. It's starting to be used in commercial real estate, and they're starting to integrate it into Google Maps. I think this is really cool because you can go in and you could scan a place such as like a bowling alley or a museum or a theme park or water park. You could actually have a situation where you go into, ideally inside a building, because outside it's not, always 100% accurate, but I think it will get there. But like, for instance, you go into a museum, right? You could actually scan the museum and you can actually see what it looks like from the inside. This would be really cool because you could go onto Google Maps and say, hey, I'm going to this business, or I'm going to this theme park, or whatever it may be. And you can actually look at what the place looks like before going to actually tour it in person. This is going to be an absolute game changer. And by the way, guys, this could actually be a massive side hustle. I've talked about that here on this channel before, doing these 3D scans. If you can get into the commercial space, you can get into doing these scans for commercial realtors or for commercial businesses, you could make a hell of a lot of money. You can charge upwards of $5,000. I've heard about a guy in New York who was charging up to $5,000 to scan office units there in the city. That's absolutely crazy, and there's a huge opportunity for that. This company is growing like a weed right now. In fact, their subscribers are up over 500% in 2020, and their revenue is up over 87% year over year. They're going to continue to see growth as more and more people get into this business, as more and more people use this as a service. There's companies out there like Redfin, the real estate brokerage. They use this exclusively. If there's a property hosted by Redfin, that almost always, I think, in fact, every single property, 100% of them will have this 3D scan there on their website if it's hosted by Redfin. I think more and more brokerages are going to catch on to this, and it's going to become the norm to have a service like this. At first it was just like, hey, get some good photos. And then for luxury properties especially, it was get a good video, get a cool video showing this house. Next, it's going to be the 3D scan. This is going to be mandatory for real estate agents, for real estate brokers, for sellers, for everybody going forward. This is going to be the needed service. And the last thing I've got to mention about this is, look, these guys are already holding down the market. They already have total control of this space. Who else do you know that's doing 3D scans and 3D hosting? Matterport's the only name that comes to my mind, and I'm a subscriber of their service, and I've looked into this pretty deeply. I don't know of any other companies off the top of my head that are doing this service. I'm sure that they're out there, but Matterport already has the stranglehold on this market. With that reason, I think they're going to continue to grow into the future, and that's the exact reason I'm going to continue to pick up shares of this company and hold them for at least the next 3, 4, 5, 6 years. Who knows, maybe even longer if they continue to do well and continue to grow. With all that being said, guys, thank you so much for watching. I know this is a long video. Really appreciate you sticking with me here to the end. Check out the links in the description below. There's going to be some links where you can get some free stocks, and also where you can check out my real estate Discord channel. I'm trying to grow that over there, so if you're interested in real estate, talking sales, talking investing, talking being a landlord or flipping, whatever you want to learn about real estate related, if you're interested in anything real estate, make sure to check that out. There will be a link down in the description below, as well as in the pinned comment. Thank you so much for watching. Let me know what stocks you're looking at buying this week. I'd love to hear about it down in the comments below. And with that being said, I'll catch you guys in the next one.